All right, so it's a couple days later, and we have our new bearing that I got from Deere. One of the comments that I saw was the expense of this bearing. And yes, I think overall after tax and everything, it was right at $37 for me. And it's AM 39420. But I could not source it anywhere else that, or at least I was not able to source it anywhere else. But let's look and see what it looks like. If I can get it open. Wow, that's really strong tape. There we go. All right, so here it is. See what it says on it now. Yep, still a 6009 NSE. So if somebody wants to source the 6009 NSE bearing, that might be a little bit better. So what we're gonna do, get it set up in the press, press this new bearing onto the hub here, and then install it in the PTO. So let me get set up on the press. All right, so I've just got the bearing on a flat surface. I have my hub set up, mostly level. I don't think I need a bearing driver or anything. So what I'm gonna do is we're just gonna go push it straight in. I'll spare you the time it takes to put this thing down. All right, so it's all the way down. I think I'm gonna run out of stroke on the press here, but we're at least gonna get it pushed part of the way in. All right, so that's it for the stroke on the press right there. I'm going to back the press off a little bit. This doesn't take much pressure at all, but I'm going to see if I can just use this socket right here to get in there. Socket might be a little too narrow. No, it'll fit. Okay. Push it the rest of the way in. Just like that, we've got our hub and our bearing. I would never recommend doing this with anything with any type of force, but just to show you, I've got a force meter here. This needle doesn't move when I'm doing this right here, so that's why I feel comfortable using a socket like this. It's not, you're not putting any undue pressure per se on anything. So there it is, all pushed in. Looks good. So now we can reassemble. All right, for this next part here, it's pretty easy. The first thing I'm going to do is I forgot to clean up the inside here. So I'm going to take a few minutes and get this all nice and clean in here, and then we can drive the bearing in. All right, got the face inside, the bearing face inside. Or the, I am blanking on words recently. Anyway, got this all cleaned up in here. So now we can take and we can drive our bearing in. Pretty simple task. In fact, it's a loose fit in there. So I'm just going to take, it's already up, it's supported. Make sure it needs to be lined up on your hub here. Should be, but just like that. Then you take your snap ring, sorry for hitting the camera there. You can take your snap ring. Try not to send your snap ring flying. Just like that. You got it in there. Now we have a nice new bearing. And everything should... Oh yeah, that's really nice. So now our PTO should be nice and fixed. That's how you replace a PTO bearing. Old bearing. Not sure if you can hear how crunchy that is in there. Old bearing. New bearing. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to finish cleaning all this up. Put this whole setup back together. And I'll either put it on a shelf or sell it. One of the two. And so that will conclude this video. If you ever wondered about putting a new bearing in here, pretty easy task. I probably would not use a hammer to pound this hub out of the bearing, or use a hammer to put it in. Really needs even force, because I think this would be one of those things. It would be really easy to get the hub sideways and scar the hub, and you don't want that to happen. But now what we can do is I can put it back together. I am going to replace the lock washer, or the lock nuts on the... I'm going to replace the lock nuts, these lock nuts right here, on the coil. And so I've got to wait for those to come in. I forgot to order those when I ordered the bearing. I thought I had some, so I thought that these were just plain lock nuts, and I cannot figure it out to save my life. I've gone through pretty much all the lock nuts I have on hand, and none of them work right. I don't have any metric lock nuts, but I didn't think that this was going to be metric, because it's a 9/16. This is a 9/16 nut, so you wouldn't think they were metric threads, but clearly that one does not go on there. So I thought I had some, but I didn't, so I ordered 3. They're only like a couple bucks a piece. Highway robbery if you know what they are, but I don't know what they are. I don't know what's special about them. I do know they tend to be a little bit thinner, so you can get a socket on them to adjust the air gap. So we'll see when they come in, what they look like when I get them, and we will go from there. I'll probably just put that in a little update video at the end of a video or something like that. So if you have any questions, comments, leave them below. But that's how you replace the bearing in a Onan John Deere 318, 322, 332. Even, I guess you could do the same in a 420, 430. Maybe we'll look at the 420 clutch when I get it apart. So anyway, thanks for watching.